So 2025 was a hard year,
Yeah.
the hardest of my life ever.
hmm
Certainly wasn't planning on it, predicting it, never would have guessed it ever.
Right.
So December 2024, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. To have doctors say, hey, it's this.
hmm
And you'd be like, I'm sorry, what? I hang up the phone and I'm like, I don't know who to talk to about this. I don't know what to do.
hmm
I felt very alone.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do and who you see and why you're only virtual.
Okay. Well, my name is Adrienne Fields. I have been here in private practice since 2018, but
Easy.
I've been counseling since 2012 in some capacity as I started off in school setting first, 2012, and now it's 2026. So doing the math on that also of coming 14 years of counseling in some capacity,
Yeah.
which is crazy in one hand, but also I just am so happy about that and excited about that and love that this is what I get to do and love that there's still life beyond it. Like it's like another 10 years, another 14 years. Like there's more down the road.
Oh,
Um
totally. Well, and I
for
think
me,
it's so interesting how we change as we age and as we've been doing this for a long time. Both of us started out working with like younger kids and students, right? And that's kind of transformed as all of these clients have gotten older and as we've gotten older and life stuff happens that kind of changes our trajectory of who we see and how we see them. And so it's just a really interesting thing to see in our field. I don't know if every field is like that or not. I kind of think not, but like we just always have something new.
yes. Yeah. And I mean, I just feel like that's so unique and so just lucky. I just feel like we're very lucky in that way that we can still do the same thing, but have it change also at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, obviously we're in a field where we listen to people talk all the time and people feel stuck and in a rut in their jobs and careers. But because they've been in it for 10, 15, 20 years, they're like, what am I going to do?
Mhm.
I'm not going to start over new somewhere. Um, but we can start over in different ways
We
and
can.
still keep going forward. So,
Well, and there's never like there's never the same day. So as when people are saying that to me, I'm like, oh, that must suck. I can't imagine. Because every time that we either walk in the building or log on, you never know what you're gonna get. And so it's always something fun and different and never boring.
never. And that's one of the number one things I love about the job is just looking at the calendar and being like, okay, I know what we talked about last time. I know what was going on last time, but you just never know what
Mhm.
somebody come with on any given day.
Well, I
And
couldn't tell you like how many times I've said, well, I wasn't expecting that today. But all right, let's roll with that.
yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, multiple times in a month with
Oh,
people. Oh, yep. Okay. All right. That's happened. Okay.
uh-huh. Alrighty then.
So to show just how unpredictable life can be as much as we would like
Yeah,
to
well,
have
the
predictable.
best laid plans, right?
Yeah, always. So with that, yes, used to see a lot of teenagers and preteens, and I have shifted away from that mostly. I have a couple still that I still see, but mainly for scheduling purposes. I am now busy after school because of my own family and
Yep.
after school activities and games and practices and this and that and the other, and so I'm not as available as I used to be in that regard, and so it's shifted into where now it is primarily adults,
Mhm.
both men and women. I do have a path where it is perinatal
Mhm.
mental health, so helping with mamas that are dealing with postpartum depression and anxiety and just what life is like after having a new baby, whether it's for the first time or again.
Yep.
Uh, but I also, and it's probably close to half, and it's been this way for a while where, um, I have a lot of men that I see, and a lot of times they're coming in. A lot of times it starts with, I have anger issues.
Yep. Yep.
And then the layers start coming back, and we start hearing childhood trauma or not knowing how to process emotions at all,
At all.
or
Mhm.
or lack of support, and just realizing that I don't really have anybody in my corner. And so that those anger issues turn into a lot of other things that have been masked by the anger. So that's been interesting over the years of having male clients, and it being, I've got anger issues.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't take away from the anger because it's certainly
It's
there.
there. It's there. It
And
just
it
usually is the secondary emotion, not the
usually,
primary.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And behaviors that have happened because of the anger,
Mhm.
it's generally what leads them into the, well, in my case, the virtual office, but
Yep.
into the office, and then we kind of go from there. And I will say, I've really enjoyed that as well, of just helping, of being a different voice for them, and helping to recognize that like you're angry, but also,
Yep. Yep.
um,
I love
and
working with men. I always have loved working with men. I think that they're so much fun. And I think that we can offer such a service of how to have feelings conversations with other females.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
because they don't know. Because I mean, if you look at it, men are really kind of conditioned to have two feelings. They can be content because they can't be too happy. That's weird.
Mhm.
Or they can be angry. They can't be scared. That's weak. They can't be sad. That's weak. So they really have these two emotions. And when we can like put other words to what they're feeling about different things, the way that their life changes and pretty quickly, honestly. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not like a 10-year process of having, I mean, some of it, like the childhood trauma, yes, right, of course. But being able to
Mhm.
just put different words to their feelings, I think is one of the coolest things.
I mean, I love sharing. I'm a visual person, so I love sharing a feelings wheel,
Hmm.
and having them really look at it and tell me either right then, or, "Hey, why don't you think on this,
Hmm.
and, shoot me an email in 24 hours, or the next time we meet. Like, what is it that you're really feeling? Like,
Hmm.
look at this. Look at all the different emotions that are going on." And yeah, you've lived primarily with content slash sorta happy or
Right.
pissed off all
Hmm.
the time. So, all these other things. So what is it?
Hmm.
And yeah, it's very interesting for them to come back and be like, "Well, actually, I think it's that." And it's like,
Right. I didn't even know
"Tell
what
me
that was. Right, like, I didn't even know what that word actually was until I realized
yeah,
that that's how I
yeah,
feel.
yeah. So tell me more about that. What do you think that is? Why do you think it is?" So, so I do, I enjoy that for sure. So it's kind of back to, you never know what you're gonna get. Um, and so when I have a new male client coming in thinking that it's, I need to work on my anger, I'm always like, "Okay, what else though?" No, there's probably more to it than just that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
So, you see, we kind of talked about the fact that you like to see men. Who else do you really like to see, and who do you want to be working with?
I mean, when we have therapy, and, people are coming in for sessions, a lot of times it is kind of I have a lot of anxiety, I have a lot of depression. Sometimes those are the things that they name, and
Mhm.
they, not to take away from what that is, but, again, a lot of times it's something else. It's something that's causing that. When I think again about, postpartum, they're the mamas, but also the dads,
Yep.
dealing with what that means to have, a new baby in the house, but also, from the dad's point of view of just helping his wife, his partner, as far as just, like, how do I navigate all of this? How do I navigate her and what she's going through and her emotions? Meanwhile, still help take care of the baby, but I still have to go to work, and I still have to do all these things. So postpartum, perinatal mental health, for both,
Mhm.
not just the new moms, but for the dads as well.
Well, that's a
Um,
really good point because we don't talk much about the dads when it comes to all of that stuff and how difficult it can be for them too.
mhm. Mhm, for sure. I mean, a lot of the focus is on the mom, which is understandable. She was
Yeah.
just pregnant,
Right,
had
right.
a baby.
Had a human, so mhm.
Yes, had a human. But it does affect the dads that are in the house and seeing it day in and day out, and not, and it affects their emotions too. It's like you can dads can have postpartum depression. They can have postpartum anxiety.
Mhm.
It may not be exactly how mom is handling it and dealing with it, and she also has hormones that are a part of the factor,
Right.
but the dads can as well. So, yeah, definitely not something that we talk a whole lot about, so just giving space for that,
Mhm.
giving permission for that, letting it be okay to feel this way, and that you don't have to try to keep it all together for her when you're having some difficulties as well. And then, um, well, because life is life, I never really thought much about chronic health
Mhm.
and or very serious illnesses and what that does to somebody. That was really never a path that I put much emphasis on or thought much about. Definitely would talk with people if they came in with something along those lines. But honestly, now that I even think about it, I don't know that I've had much of that in my career.
Mhm.
Uh, and it may be because in those early years it was, really teenager focused. But now I'm in a space where I welcome that and feel like I can provide perspective for that, and have 100% empathy for it, of just what it feels like to have doctors say, "Hey, it's this."
Mhm.
And you'd be like, "I'm sorry, what?" Um, and again, just with the unpredictability of life and not knowing what to do with certain things when a doctor says, "Oh, it's cancer," or "Oh, it's this,"
Mhm.
or "You've got this going on," or, I think a lot of times, and that was probably my own thinking too, of like, that's an old person
Uh,
problem. And when I say old person, I'm thinking like 80s,
yeah.
right? Like somebody who is old.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh. And not necessarily thinking about people who are in their 30s and 40s,
Yeah.
uh, dealing with that type of stuff. So that is definitely an area that, like I said, I would have always welcomed it prior, but I have a different perspective on it now. And so being able to, again, just have space for that, and let people fall apart.
Mhm. Do you wanna talk about why you have a different perspective now?
Sure. Well, we'll start with, I've got this hairstyle that is not.
It's really cute though. It really is. Like, you've got a good face to have short hair like that. Not everyone can pull it off. And I was gonna mention that earlier and we got sidetracked, but it really is cute.
Well, thanks. This is what we call post chemo hair. Uh,
Mhm.
as it is growing back. You can't tell 100%, but it is very curly in the back, which is interesting because I do not have curly hair.
I have,
Uh,
you know how many people I know that had totally straight hair, went through chemo, and now have the best curls? Like, maybe that's just like a gift you get.
I guess. I don't know. I'll be interested to see if it sticks around as it continues to grow, or if it's like babies and they've got curly hair, and then when the mamas cut it off, it's gone.
It's
I don't know. I'm not sure. But in a sense, it's like I did start over.
you did.
Because I did have to go through chemotherapy. So let's see, we're in January. So December 2024, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I felt a lump myself on my right breast, and felt it and was like, don't think that's good. Don't think that's right. So went through the process of getting a mammogram. They went in, saw what they saw, and then just as the ball kept rolling and having to do a biopsy, CT scan, ultrasound, and then for them to call me, I guess it would have been 4. I went in on a Friday and they called me on a Tuesday. So, and it's a weird phone call because you're not talking to the doctor. I, I'm not even sure she was a nurse, to be honest.
Mhm.
She's was just somebody that works in the office. But essentially just telling me what I already pretty much knew to be true after being poked and prodded on that day, but, you have to hear the words, and so her saying that it was breast cancer and that I needed to now do all these things. I had to figure out a doctor. What surgeon did I want? I needed to figure out an oncologist. Where was I gonna have the procedure? Like, all these things all of a sudden, I'm
Mhm.
like, "Why am I doing this?" I know why I had to do it, but I had to do it, um so I was able to then in February, I had 2 surgeries to remove 3 tumors and 6 lymph nodes because it had spread to my lymph nodes. And then after that was 8 rounds of chemotherapy, so around every other week, so for 4 months, which did make me lose my hair. Um, and then after that was 6 weeks of radiation, and that's going to the hospital every day. Thankfully, I can't speak for all hospitals, but where I was at, it was very, quick and efficient. I was in and out.
Wow,
And
good.
yes, I timed it. My average was 20 minutes from walking in the door and walking out.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes,
I
yes.
would have never guessed that in a million
No,
weeks.
no, their system, you went in, I checked in on a computer, I went back into the changing area, I changed. They once I checked in, they knew I was there.
Mhm.
Um, Come get me. I would go into the room with the machine, do the radiation, go back inside, put my clothes back on, and I was out the door, and I was gone.
Wow.
So, it was very for me, it was very quick and efficient. Now, I don't every cancer patient is different with
Sure.
their, uh, their treatment, so it's possible that other people that go in for radiation have to stay longer, um, but it was very quick. It was very quick. So, that was nice, I guess, in that I had to be there every single day.
Mhm.
Um, it took longer for me to get to the hospital, park my car, walk into the facility, and
Wow.
then 20 minutes it was there. So I've been done with all of that since the middle of, September, and so now it's just, I have medication that I take now,
Mhm.
and then follow-ups,
Will you
which
have to
also
take the medication forever?
as of right now, it's for 5 years,
Okay,
and it's daily medication. There's 2 that I'm on.
okay.
Um, just like with any medication, maybe you're gonna have side effects, maybe you don't. As of right now, I've been very lucky that I haven't had any side effects.
Awesome.
Um, Whereas like things that I know that I can tell. I'm not nauseous, I'm not vomiting, anything like that. So that was good too. I had a lot of anxiety around taking it just because
Sure.
you don't know. And when you get this pamphlet of all the things that could possibly go wrong when you take this medication, it's terrifying.
I'm sure.
It was really, really scary to where there's multiple conversations where I was like, I don't want to take this.
Mhm.
I don't want to take this. And it was like, if you don't, the likelihood of it coming could it always come back? Of course.
Sure.
I'm still alive. I still have breasts. It could come back.
Mhm.
Uh, but the medication is to help make those numbers go way down.
Okay.
So, so 2025 was a hard year,
Yeah.
the hardest of my life ever.
Mhm.
Certainly wasn't planning on it, predicting it, never would have guessed it
Right.
ever.
Right.
Uh, it was hard, but again, now I have an idea of all of it, what it feels like, and again, every cancer patient is different, but there are things that are gonna be similar.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
not, I mean, you likely are gonna have to have some sort of surgery depending on the stage and where it if it's spread, you're likely gonna have to have chemo, and then again, depending on the type, you're likely gonna have to have radiation.
Mhm.
So, so just knowing that excuse me, that, getting that diagnosis, it's not quick. I mean, when I sat there with the doctor before I had my surgery and she's mapping everything out, this was the beginning, this is around this time last year, and I
Mhm.
thought when I saw everything, I was like, "I'll be done about a week before my birthday," and my birthday is in the end of September, and
Right.
so I'm like, "It's all year. This is all year almost."
Mhm. Well, and I
And
felt too, like, even talking to you is like, "Oh, hurry up and wait. Oh, we've gotta do this and this, but then you have to wait." But then and I'm like, it is 2025. Like, why are we waiting? Like, just
why
do it
are we waiting?
now.
Yeah.
Like, get it done."
Yes, and those first few months, it's agony because you're just waiting for the next appointment
Mhm,
to get more information, to have more images, to have more this, to have more that, for the doctors to have a clearer picture of what's going on.
mhm.
Uh, and even with that, you know, they didn't know if I had cancer in my lymph nodes until they removed them.
Right.
So there was no way for me to know. So even initially, the initial plan was surgery radiation,
Mhm.
but they were going to need to take out lymph nodes to determine if it had spread there. And so once they did that and they were able to dissect it, I don't even know if that's the right word. I guess biopsy them. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Send
Um,
them to pathology. Then the
and-
pathology is like,
exactly, exactly right. Send them to pathology, and then it came back of like, oh, so now we got to throw in chemo. So it is pure agony. Those first couple of months of just trying to figure out what's next,
Mhm.
what's the game plan, and most of us like control and structure and predictability,
Uh-huh, and
and
aren't super patient.
are not super patient, and so there's a lot of lessons for yourself during that time
What do you think
because
was your biggest lesson that you learned?
do you want me to cry?
I have that
um,
effect on people I'm learning over the years,
um,
and you totally don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
think no, 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 no. I think for me, it was learning how to surrender.
Mm.
I have no control over this.
Mhm.
Didn't want it. I couldn't fix it. I didn't prepare with Kleenexes.
I
Um,
didn't either, and so you can't make me cry. I can this is a one-way street here.
yeah, yeah. So it was just learning how to how to deal with that when I want to be able to take control and fix this and do what I know how to do whenever there's a problem.
Right.
And I couldn't.
Mhm.
So I just had to sit and wait and be patient and also not let myself go dark.
Yeah, 'cause that'd be real easy to do, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And there's days that you do anyway.
Well, I think you have to, because
Yeah.
how do you come out this sane without allowing yourself to sit in some darkness? Not long periods of time, obviously, but, like, you gotta feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then to go back and be in the light, find the joy,
Mhm.
find the happiness. For me at that, I mean, and this time I wasn't stage 4. I
Right,
wasn't in a spot where, they're like, there's not much we're gonna be able to do. I wasn't in that space.
right.
It doesn't take away from it, it's still really scary, and it still puts you in a place now where I think about it every day.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I've got all my follow-up scans coming up. What are they gonna what's it gonna say? Like, am I good? Am I clear? Am I okay? So I mean, and again, all I have to do is look in the mirror and I'm reminded every day that I've gone through that. And now it's just fingers crossed that I'm good, that I'm okay, that things are happening in my body the way that they're supposed to, and that everything's gonna come back and be fine.
Mhm.
Um, so there's a lot of so there's a lot of lessons with that too, of not dwelling on it.
Yeah.
I think about it every day, but I have to allow myself to think about it, be like, "Yep, okay, here's this thought, I'm thinking about it again," but not s I don't have time to stay there, honestly, but I also don't want to stay there,
Well,
like,
because it's not productive.
it's not.
And you
It's
have a
not.
husband and a very busy little dude that, like, if you're stuck there, then what? What does that look like for them?
Right. Yeah. And so just being able to, yeah, acknowledge it, do what I need to do with that, and
Mhm,
then still move forward.
mhm,
We have to still move forward.
mhm.
There's so many reasons to move forward.
So many that I think we don't, or we just take for granted when we don't have this thing glaring us in our faces of like, "Oh, shit."
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And so, so it was really interesting too, and why I know I can now provide in this way through therapy is because a couple of months after I received my diagnosis, one of my neighbors down the street, who is younger than I am, I'm 43, so by my diagnosis, I was 42.
Yep.
She's 38. She was diagnosed
Oh my
with
god.
breast cancer, and hers was unfortunately worse than mine.
Mhm.
Um, she was at a higher stage, and so I did everything a couple of months before her. I had surgery, a couple months she had surgery. I started chemo, a couple of months she started chemo. I started radiation, a couple months she started radiation. And with the holidays and whatnot, she actually just finished
Okay.
radiation last week. But we've been there for each other throughout
Oh,
this whole year.
yeah.
But I've been able, because I just completed it, to be like, this is what I did. This is what I experienced. Here's what helped. She initially went to a different hospital and got really interesting feedback and treatment options. And I had a really kick-ass surgeon. I really think you should get a second opinion.
Mhm,
I was like, if for nothing else, I mean, if you don't like it, then stick with your person. What's one appointment? I was like, I really think you should.
mhm.
She did, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. Everything about this process was much better. The facility, it was a whole completely different experience for her." And so she was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely not going back to the other hospital
Mhm.
and the other doctor." And so, she also had the same kick-ass surgeon that I did. And then we ended up with a different oncologist, but then we had the same radiation doctor.
Okay.
So it was just so being able to kind of help guide her along the way really helped me to know that I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think realizing just how crucial support system is. I don't think that we know until we really need our support system and they show up for us.
Mhm.
And so even to be that guide for people, sometimes I think even in the therapeutic process, we don't need to be therapeutic all the time.
Mhm.
We can just hold that space and kind of be that guide. And I think in situations like this where, we're taught so much to like never self-disclose and never talk about our process. And I think especially in cases like that, that's such BS. Like if you have resources to offer someone, why would we not do that?
Right. As it is with most things, I mean, if you know, you know.
Ex-
And
right.
if you don't know, it doesn't mean that you still can't help somebody and still be very empathetic with what they're going through and what is, the process. But when you've been there,
Yeah.
it it's different.
It's so different. And it's so interesting because, we've talked about this in the past too, like my specialty areas are my specialty areas because been there, done that. And there's some where like I hadn't gone through it yet. And I'll look back and I'll go, "Did I say the right thing now? Oh my gosh, if I was in their shoes now, like, would I have needed would that have been helpful information without going through it myself?" And so I think it's so important for us to be able to connect with our clients and say, like, my story and your story we're not the same, because no two stories can be the same, but man, do I get it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
just think that's such a valuable gift. Like, if I had a new diagnosis, I would want a you on the other side of that screen versus a me.
I mean, it's just one of those things. You don't know until you've been there
Mhm,
what it's like. I mean, and even things too. So the hospital that I went to, that I still go to for my appointments, the area that you go in for chemotherapy is the same floor that I go to see my oncologist. There's a little PTSD.
yeah. How I don't know how there couldn't be.
Yeah. That floor, there's a smell on that floor. And as soon as I get there, like, I have to start working on myself. Like, I will start to shut down in a way.
Mhm.
This and I even said it one of the times when my husband was with me, and I was like, "What is this smell?" And he was like, "Clean?" And I'm like,
Emotions, like
"Yes." So it's not some, like, a bad smell. It's not, it's not some moldy smell or anything like that, for him, like, that was his word. He was like, "Clean?"
Mhm,
So it is some sort of disinfectant, whatever it is, but
mhm,
it is on that floor. It is strong,
mhm.
and probably because there's chemotherapy patients there.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, it's it's hard for me to go on that floor. And when you go up the elevator, you go to the right for chemotherapy, you go to the left for the doctor's offices.
Mhm.
And so I go up, and right now I only have to go to the left, but like it is like I feel it. I feel the rush and the just I don't want to be here, and and how your body doesn't forget things.
No.
How my body knows that, like, yes, I was there for a reason, and it was to essentially kill cancer,
Mhm.
but it was hard,
Yeah.
and chemo kicked my ass, and it made me very sick, and I never wanted to go. I Most of my appointments were on a Monday, and so I had the weekend, and Sundays were always really hard. I
Sure.
dreaded it,
I'm sure.
and it was just like, I don't wanna go. I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna do this.
Well, especially knowing that you're gonna be sick.
Yes. I
Mhm.
mean, it wasn't like one day.
No,
I
yeah.
go on Monday, and by Friday, I would be feeling okay.
Mhm.
And so thankfully it was every other week. So then I had a week to kind of recoup, but then I had to go again the next time. And
Mhm.
so yeah, so going up to the hospital to do these other things and to go see my oncologist that's on the same floor as the chemotherapy. It's just like, yeah, it just, so things that I wouldn't have known that.
Mhm.
I wouldn't,
No,
I wouldn't
you couldn't have
have
known that.
Couldn't have known that. Couldn't have known that even when you're done with treatment, you're still gonna have feelings that come up
Mhm.
just because you walked on the floor, or just because you had to go to, you parked in the parking lot
Yep.
or whatever, and just that rush of
Mhm.
having to process that and go through that. And again, like, remind yourself, because your brain doesn't know the difference, but,
Right.
like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it was hard. There was a lot, like I said, there's a lot that I learned about myself and how to handle things and how to deal with things. And like I said, because I had my neighbor go through everything I did just a couple of months behind me, it's like I can provide.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
can be I can have that space for people. So now that's an area that, like I said before, I wasn't necessarily looking for that, never really thought about it.
Right? You didn't
Uh,
have to.
didn't have to.
Mhm.
But now it's something that I 100% welcome.
Mhm.
I'm in a space that I can share my own experience, but not, not put it on them.
Right.
And
Yes. Well, exactly. Like the difference between like self-disclosure as support and self-disclosure as making this about me.
yes, right.
Mhm.
You know, and so being able to share similarities or, just here's how it went for me type of a thing, but in in doing so of knowing that like I'm sharing with you because I know what it's like.
Yep. Yep.
I know what it feels like to be there. I know that fear and that anxiety and the
Mhm.
depression comes with it.
Well, and just
And
for someone to see the fact that you're on the other side,
yeah.
like how just like looking at you alone would be so hopeful for them.
And I want that, right? Like
Mhm.
I hope that I can do that for people.
Mhm.
And it's I'm not the first. Unfortunately, I won't be the last. Um, but when you don't have anybody to talk to,
I can't
that's hard.
imagine.
That's hard too. I mean, I get a phone call that says you have breast cancer. I hang up the phone and I'm like, I don't know who to talk to about this.
Mhm.
I don't have anybody in my family. I haven't That's just not been in my family.
Mhm.
Didn't have any friends really. I just, I was like, I don't really know who to call. I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
And so I felt very alone.
So what did you do?
Well, I did you helped.
Not why I asked the question. Why I wasn't looking for kudos. I was just like, just
I
in,
know,
in general, because
but I think this is just helpful too in that I call you as my boss, right? As my coworker, as my colleague to say, "Hey, this is what's going on with me." And you say, "Oh, hey, you should talk to my friend
Mhm.
because she's been there." And so then I was able to get connected with your friend. And then a mom at my son's school said, "Oh, hey, my best friend, she's great.
Mhm.
She'll talk. Let me send her, I'm going to send you her number. I'm going to let you know, I'm going to let her know that you're probably going to be reaching out."
Mhm.
So I had to find community. And at first, I wasn't really reaching out looking for it. And
Right.
thankfully, people brought it to me.
Mhm.
Um, and so once I had those two ladies, like that was it. I mean, it was texting about everything.
Mhm.
What's this? What about that? How did you experience this? What was it like for you? And just, having their feedback and their experiences and their permission. Text me anytime.
Yep.
Call me anytime.
And meant it. They meant it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that was very helpful in those early months where I again, it was agony. I felt very lonely, scared out of my mind.
Mhm. Well, it's
And
even scary to reach out to a stranger.
yes.
And, like, I mean, like, "Hey, yeah, you've been there, done that, but also I'm going through the worst thing ever, and I need to be super vulnerable, and I don't know you, but I hear
I
you're a great human.
yes.
I hear you won't mind that I call or text you," you know? So
Yeah.
that alone takes a lot of courage.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because it was. I mean, yeah, both of these ladies were complete strangers,
Mhm.
met via text. The local one here, I did meet in person
Mhm.
and was able to say hello and put a name with a face and give a hug and that type of a thing. So um but yes, it is kind of strange to talk to a but is it? Because we're in therapy to talk to a complete
Well,
stranger about kind of the
that's
hardest thing in life.
but that's when people come to us. Not when we have to be the vulnerable ones and go to them. I'm
Yes,
real good at talking about anything, literally any topic with anybody that needs me. On the other hand, I'm not so great about taking my own advice, you know? Like,
for sure, for sure. So, and so yeah, so it's you have to find community and find people that you do hopefully have a connection with
mhm,
to be able to be very vulnerable and talk about things that yeah, you may not talk with anybody else because again, like if they don't know, then you might not want to talk to them about that because they've not been there and they haven't experienced it. So so yes, that was very, very helpful, very beneficial. I don't know that I would have been able to get through it without being able to text them and be like, what do I expect or what should I look forward to with this and how do we go about this and and it was all the things. It was I don't feel good. Oh, my hair's starting to fall out. With radiation, your skin can burn and it can burn really badly.
mhm,
So it was what can I do preventatively for that? What did you do? What did you use?
mhm.
Type of thing. So not that the doctors don't give you here's what you should try, but
Sure, but they've not been through it.
right.
Mhm,
So yeah. So it was definitely have to have somebody,
mhm.
somebody to talk to. So
Well, and for the record, you're not just licensed in Texas, you're also licensed in Tennessee. So
yes,
people that are not in Texas, but in Tennessee can also reach out and schedule with you.
of
So
course.
it's
Yes.
not just exclusive to Texas. I just wanted to like put that out there so anybody that is in your community that maybe needs you can reach out.
Yes. Yes. Licensed in both. Um, grateful for that opportunity to be able to do that, to still work in a private practice setting that's located in Texas, but I'm not located in Texas. I'm in Tennessee. So yeah, I have both of those licenses and able to see anybody throughout both states virtually. So
One of someone that is not in one of those states just needs some support and some coaching. How do you feel about being able to do that? Not that you're necessarily like a cancer coach, but just being able to be that resource for somebody who might have just found us on Instagram and connects with you through the screen.
right. I mean, and absolutely, because it just again, it goes back to when you are in a position, whether it is a cancer diagnosis or anything else, I mean, to find somebody that like, oh, okay. I like what she has to say. I like how she said that. I like the way, she worded that. That seems, I get a good vibe off of her.
Mhm.
We all know that that's really important. So, but specifically for, like a cancer diagnosis, absolutely. Because again, it just goes back to, I've been there.
Yeah,
I understand. And I'm not at this point, obviously, I'm not so far removed. I mean, I just finished
right,
treatment in September.
right.
Uh,
This was like 3 months
I
ago.
right, exactly. Exactly. So absolutely. I mean, I would welcome that and encourage it, right? Because again, it can feel very lonely and it's important to have somebody to
Mhm.
talk to and to cry with and to say out loud that I'm scared.
Yeah, yeah. That's about the most vulnerable thing we can possibly say, I think.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, I for one am thrilled that you're healthy and things are good and that you look great with short hair.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's it's a process. Like I said, I don't generally have curly hair, but I have curly hair now. So we'll see how that lasts.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah. So that's where
So
we are with it.
before I let you go, because again, I said it would be 30 minutes and we're at an hour, of course, because I can't keep my mouth shut. Is there anything that you want people to know or think would be helpful in any kind of journey that they're going through?
Mm, for themselves or like
In any of it, all the above, whether it's working with you for themselves, if their spouse is going through something and they just need extra support, what do you just want the general population to know?
well, Well, and I think it's been that, right? It's that kind of theme of remembering that there are people who are willing to help, who want to have that provide that space for you, who want to have the listening ear, to be the shoulder to cry on, that, you don't whatever it is, you really don't have to do it by yourself.
Mm-mm.
And even in 2026, we still find ourselves a lot of people do thinking, I have to do this all by myself. Nobody can help me. I don't want anyone to help
Understand.
me. They
Mhm.
won't understand. They don't get it. I don't want to open up to them because the last time I opened up to somebody, it didn't work out really well in whatever capacity. Maybe there was some betrayal or somebody was just very unempathetic. Even things like making a joke out of it. Like thinking they're trying to be funny and it's like, "Oh, that wasn't really
Yeah,
funny."
that
And I
didn't
didn't
end. Mhm.
yeah, that didn't go well.
Mhm.
Um, so just that, that it's still that's still always kind of the message that you don't have to do things alone, and
Mm-mm.
that there are people who are so willing to walk with you.
Well, and that it's healing for them too.
Mhm. Yeah, and probably gonna be more so than they even realize.
Oh, without question, because I think it helps us to look at it too and go, "Okay, so this happened to me for a reason." Like, "Okay, because I had to go through this hell, I can now hold space for this person going through this hell."
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Because again, as much as we love predictability, life does not care.
Life laughs. Like, that is so precious that that is your plan. Adorable. Now watch us blow it up for you.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
Yep. And it will. And so how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? What do you do with it? And again, how do you move forward?
right.
Good you.
Yep, yep, and I think that it's, like it sounds so pessimistic, but it's so true that, like, you all of us are going to have in our lifespan, they are going to be things that are going to literally blow our lives out of the water. And it truly is what you choose to do with it. And like we were saying earlier, like sit in the darkness for a while, but then
Wow.
realize, like, okay, so and one thing that I always do for myself is I'm like, I'm going to feel this way for this amount of time. And when this amount of time happens, I'm pulling myself together. I'm getting fresh air. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to hang out with friends. I'm going to do something. But for right now, I'm going to feel really shitty and like pity party all day long.
Mhm.
But even just giving yourself the permission to do that, I think makes it easier to then when your time frame is up to be like, okay, I did that. And
Mhm.
now I get to go and like be on to the next thing. But no
Mhm.
matter what, life is going to explode at some point in time.
It is. It is for sure, and there's no way to predict it. You can't choose it, can't schedule it in. Oh,
No, this is
this
a really good time for this to happen.
yes. Yes. None of that is gonna be the case. And
Mm-mm.
so, yeah. So
Yeah.
do what you need to do for yourself to get up to get it all out and then be like, "Okay, I'm done with that for now. It's
Yep.
probably gonna happen again tomorrow or next week
Yep.
or
Yep.
shit, maybe in 5 minutes. I don't know, but I'm done now."
Right.
So,
Yeah. But I'm going to enjoy this 5 minutes until it happens again.
yes. Mhm. So finding the joy,
Yep.
finding the happiness. To
Well, and I do think too that like sometimes when we're really going through it, having some dark humor, having like making the inappropriate joke, like to just break the ice to get us
break the ice.
through is
Definitely.
is so important to like I am notorious for saying the craziest things when I'm suffering the most because like I just need something to make us laugh.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and what is laughter? I mean, again, it's happiness, it's silliness, it's pulling you out of it.
It's medicine.
It's medicine. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. For sure. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this today. And I'm so
Yes.
glad that that world gets to hear your story. And I know that you're going to help lots of people because of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. And yeah, it's again, didn't wasn't breast cancer was not on the 2025 bingo card.
No, no. When you called me, definitely didn't think that that's what we were going to be talking about.
Exactly. Ex-
What?
So,
Yeah. So I'm glad that we can have a different kind of conversation in 2026.
right. Definitely. So, yes. So, thank you for letting me share my story.
Yeah, anytime. I think we should do this again because I really feel like the more that people can look at us as humans who've been through some stuff and can relate to us, that even just by somebody watching this, they might feel so much hope that they didn't feel 5 minutes ago.
Yes. And I hope so.
Mhm.